Hey, I'm Sid.
And I'm Mike.
And this is Comedy Filmmakers Motivation Monday.
The podcast.
And I'm Carl.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, Carl.
Wow. So
Carl, just so everybody knows, Carl is the other co-creator and writer-director of Sid and Mike.
He's the ampersand.
Ooh, drop the creds. Also, for those who don't know, this show, Comedy Filmmakers Motivation Monday, is a podcast about comedy filmmakers, us. And we are actively trying to pitch.
Carl, every week we are pitching. We are pitching. Like, that's what this is.
I swear I'm not doing that on purpose. I'm not setting you guys up. We are pitching a sketch comedy show to networks, to production companies, to other folks. And we have had, ups and downs, and we're going to talk about them here on the show. And we also are going to bring in some guests, and we're going to chat with them about their ups and downs. And then guess what? We're all going to get motivated.
It's going to be
I'm feeling motivated already.
I'm feeling really good today.
Fantastic. You guys want to check in real quick?
I want to check in. I want to start with Mike because last week Mike was really sick, and we just Mike, are you good?
I'm less sick, everybody.
Yay.
I'd love to hear that.
And I have a little update for you. I hopped on that Peloton today.
What?
Really?
20 minutes.
Wait.
20 minutes.
Unprompted Peloton update.
It was terrible. I hate you for making me do it. I did not feel better when I was done.
Great.
But does future Mike happy that he did it?
I mean, we'll only be able to know in the future. We just have to wait for the passage of time. Another thing I got up to this week was we submitted. I have another project that I'm doing.
Whoa.
Hang on. We're not allowed to talk about that.
Whoa, yeah, no. Hey, look, this is
Okay.
Comedy Filmmakers
Project.
Motivation Monday.
I think you're on the wrong podcast, Mike.
I need some motivation for this other thing. We're all doing other stuff.
Wow, okay. I can do this. Yeah.
I know what it is.
Yeah,
I've
there's-
seen
No,
some
I know
cuts
what
of
it is.
Yeah,
I'm actually
there's-
really proud of
There's
you.
multiple pans in the fire. We all got to keep that fire going.
Honestly,
and,
Mike made this project so much better because I saw it before Mike, got in there and did his Mike things, and you really spiced it up, dog.
Telling people that they're doing it wrong.
But
Show them the way.
Yes.
But we submitted it to Series Fest, where we are alumni.
Hey, winners.
Hey.
We're winners.
We are winners.
Late night
Past
audience
winners.
award winners.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
right. So they have a hot new project with a leading man, Mike Holt, in it.
Did you
I'll
do
come
that?
see it.
Did you do that on filmfreeway.com?
We did that through filmfreeway.com. yeah.
Honestly, hearing
Yeah. I had an alumni discount code, so no big deal.
Amazing.
If anybody wants that alumni discount code, I'll split the difference of the savings you get on that code.
You're going to jail.
Let you use.
You're going to jail.
I'll let you use my code.
That's
and I'll split it
illegal.
with you.
but then
That's
he gets an
illegal as fuck.
executive producer credit.
for an EP credit.
Just
Yeah.
for doing that.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations. I think
Thank you.
submitting a film is such a good feeling that then becomes a long, bad feeling.
And honestly, Film Freeway is triggering for me. So the fact that you've even entered that process again is a big win.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Do you want to, shall I go?
Oh, guys, you guys saw that Rhode Island came in, by the way.
Wait, what?
Never mind.
Oh, boy.
I guess I'll give a little update on my week. This is just something real quick. My landlord is apparently getting into Wim Hof techniques, and he's forcing me to take cold showers. I can't say that it's really only stressing me out more at this point.
You got to
including
breathe through it.
When I text him about it, and he tells me, "Are you sure that it's cold?"
Yeah.
He's gaslighting.
Do you have knobs or do you have the thing?
He's gaslighting me. I have not. Wait, I have a knob.
Uh-huh.
I have a knob.
Which way are you turning it? Could be which way. could be which way you're turning
You sound
that
just like
knob.
him.
So Carl is not clean. It's fine.
Oh no, I took a cold shower, but you're
Did-
right. Yeah, I don't have the sanitation of
No.
a hot shower. He was gaslighting me about this. I wish he would gaslight the water heater, and then we could have some heat. But yeah, that's mostly my week. I got a new job.
Oh, we're
Oh,
happy for
congratulations.
I'm not going to talk about it.
you. Thank you. Gosh, you guys both. No, making money is great, Carl. We're very happy for you. Your last edit reel was fire. So look at that. Now, boom, job.
fire.
Check the episode description for a link to my latest editing reel.
It's sick. Well, guys, I'm really happy for you and your other work. My other work has been working on myself. And it is working because, baby, I'm back to my morning routine. Just the things we were talking about before. I'm back to my journaling. I'm back to my yoga. I'm back to my walk. I'm back to saying nice things.
Do it.
I went on don'tbealittlebitch.com. And a lot of you, no, well, I fucking run it, Mike.
Yeah,
but
you gotta check the
anyway,
about page. Her
a lot
picture's
of
the
people
first
had
one.
signed up, and now there's just like a lot of momentum. I was feeling the vibe. Everybody else is feeling the vibe, and I have to say, a morning routine, I'm not where I want to be, but it's real. It's very important, and I continue to not stick to it. So I'm, here I am. I'll let you know next week how it's going.
I feel like this podcasting is making us all better.
I think so.
We have no choice but to be better.
I mean, yeah, we can't come in here and talk about how
talking
we're
shit.
talking how
Yeah.
I've done nothing for 7 days, and now I'm gonna go do nothing for 7 days.
But
I'll see
honestly,
you then.
also in terms of us, so we are now working on this feature idea, and we have a lot of other, we're still making stuff. So the three of us have been, cooking around some ideas.
I'm gonna go rogue here for a second. I want the listeners. Here we
go.
go. I want the listeners to email us something that you want to do in the next 7 days, and we're gonna read out one of these when we start airing these.
Yeah, no, we're doing these live. We're doing these live.
Yeah,
so,
we're doing them live. Yeah.
Thanks for listening. You're out there. We're doing this live.
But I think that would be good to send us what you're doing in the next 7 days, and then a follow up that you stuck to it, and we'll respond.
And a follow up if you didn't, because we'll motivate you to
we'll
try
motivate
again.
the fucking shit out of you.
Ooh.
But no, we're still being creative, so this is good, you guys.
Constipated? We'll motivate
Creative?
the shit out of you.
Poop
I
jokes.
like that
Early.
Sid's talking about how creative we are, and I feel like
I honestly
it's-
just now you guys just
seems
make
like
them
a
poop.
segue is on its way.
Honestly, when you do the transitions, it's the best. You're nailing them every time, and I think that you're right. Segue.
We're talking about scooters,
That's what
Yeah.
hoverboards.
So basically, it's an electric scooter. You can stand straight up. And the guy who invented it, I think, drove one off a mountain and died.
No, really?
I think so. No,
Wow.
true.
leading
untrue.
him to his
I'm being
next
told
phase
that
of
was
life.
that was
No.
an urban myth.
Our producer's getting on that.
We're being our producer Sasha is telling us that the inventor of the Segway is still alive. Our producer Sasha is telling us that there was a British guy who bought the Segway company. I'm sure if you're interested in more of this, I'm sure that if you Google Segway and go to the Wikipedia page, you'll probably find a lot of the information that he's telling us right now.
Honestly, let's just throw it in the show notes.
So Sid, you mentioned working on a feature that we're doing. You mentioned like just kind of getting the creative juices flowing again. And that brings me to our topic of the week, DIY filmmaking.
Love it.
Now, what does DIY stand for? Because I don't know.
Done it yesterday.
Done it yesterday. So Done It Yesterday filmmaking, as I understand it, is a competition where you get together and you make films, but you have to only use footage you shot the day before.
Yes.
Yep.
Great additions. Great additions. And so DIY filmmaking. I'm looking. Our producer Sasha is telling us there's actually another definition for DIY filmmaking.
Wait,
Okay.
there is?
What is it?
What's he saying? Said what's DIY stand for?
Do it yourself.
Oh, right.
Do it yourself. Wait, really?
I like Done It Yesterday.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, because then it's like I could kind of think about it as like I've already done it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, do it yourself sounds like a now do this.
Yeah, that's not. Wow. Okay. Well, I can pivot. This is a great topic as well. We can talk about that.
Sure, do it yourself. We've done some things ourselves.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I'd say we've done everything ourselves.
Honestly,
you're right.
we can totally pivot and do this DIY. That's fine. Yeah. Do it yourself. We've done it ourselves.
We did the pivot ourselves.
Wow, guys, I'm proud of us. Look at us doing this all ourselves.
We're doing it.
I am really proud of us, and I'm going to get serious and emotional
Oh.
as I talk about our pathway. And I'm sure we're going to talk about this a little bit more when we bring on our guest. But we met through a Brooklyn filmmaking collective called Video Mass.
Shout out.
And it was a DIY filmmaking collective made up of just people who were in New York who wanted to make movies or wanted to get into the industry. And so they just did it themselves.
Yeah, I think for me it grew out of a sense that we had made some stuff and submitted to festivals. It wasn't getting played. It wasn't getting in. The festival circuit was really hard. So we were all talented people. And it was expensive, yeah, to submit a bunch of stuff when you're a DIY filmmaker. Some
of the filmmakers from the beginning of Video Mass had actually never made anything and were looking for the opportunity. And so within the collective, people would say all right, I'm going to come and I have a camera and I will shoot your film. And you're going to come and hold up a light or a microphone and you're going to help me make my film. And people trading favors led to our premiere event was in the McKibben Lofts. This is a Brooklyn legend, by the way. The McKibben Lofts used to be this sort of artist space that some of our friends lived in. And we did our first screening there. It was Halloween night, 2012, Spooky Fest 1.
Oof.
All DIY. A lot of people's first time doing anything or being on set at all. And it was super fun, and we went on to do a whole bunch more. But that's how I met you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was at Spooky Fest 2 that we met, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, Mike met you before me, but you guys brought me in the fold because we were doing other Sid and Mike. Those videos we don't talk about.
But you were doing that yourself as well.
We did,
We were, Mike and I, back in the day.
Yeah, there's that age-old adage of if you want to be a filmmaker, get out there and shoot something.
What do you think is the hardest thing about DIY filmmaking?
Oh my God. Everything about me was just it's all so hard.
I think it's for me it was
resources.
It was just because back before that, for me, I'm thinking about the first time that I did something. It was not knowing how to do much of anything, and luckily for me, my first time, I had just moved here. I had been on a couple film sets as a PA or whatnot, and then I was on a commercial as an actor. And then I had this idea. Me and Sid had this idea to do something, and I reached out to that DP that I met on that one commercial. He agreed to do it, and the hardest thing was I think not knowing where to start. And something that's really helped me start is getting somebody to commit to help me. And then me not want to disappoint them. Is that codependency? I'm not sure. But
I don't know. We'll have to ask an expert. but I know exactly what you're talking about.
But yeah, you say, hey man, I want to shoot this thing, and they're like, absolutely, I'll come. I have an Alexa Mini, and you're like, that's a real camera, and you're like, oh shit,
I better go rewrite this script.
I better take this seriously.
Yeah.
So I think that one of the things that you can do to motivate yourself as a DIY filmmaker is get yourself in over your head. Get somebody to help you that is going to make you not want to fuck up in front of them. That's going to make you want to do a really good job, and you'll do a better job because you put yourself in a tough position that you have to fight your way out of.
I'm going to blast all the way to the other end of that spectrum. And when you're DIY filmmaking and you actually do make something and it's actually good and you love it and you have no idea what to do with it. There's nobody, there's no guide. There's oh yeah, you can put it in festivals. Okay, well it didn't get in any festivals because it didn't have any celebrities in it. And so then what? All right, you can try to post it online, maybe get some traction with no budge
200
or staff picks
200
on Vimeo.
views. Now what?
Yeah, you can then. All right, well, we'll post it on our social media. Maybe we'll get some buzz with our. So it's just this.
You're up
endless,
to 300 views.
Yeah, yeah. So meeting people, and we're just now having this in the last couple of years. Meeting people who have actually done the journey and know some of those answers has been the biggest change I think for what we're doing in the last couple of years.
I also think that what we were doing was a little bit different because sometimes when you make individual projects, right, you have an individual project and it's very specific to some kind of festival, or you're doing different genres. For us, we were doing Sid and Mike. And so it was this like weird thing where you make things and like you said, like you think, oh, this is going to be the thing. And then I don't know where it comes where you just like keep going. You're like, are we crazy? I don't know. We're still
That's a big part of
this.
I think the answer is yes.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
But it's all, and that's why at first my answer was, oh, it's all really hard because yes, first we had to learn how, then we were finding resources, we were asking favors, we were giving favors, we were still we were working our regular jobs to make money, putting all the money that we had into what we were making, and then thinking, oh, you get a really good meeting, and we were pitching, and we had all these different ideas for different projects. And I think it's so interesting for me. I can only speak for myself that after making so much, after making 50 videos, after putting together first we had put together a pilot, then we put together a pilot and a feature, and all these ideas for what we could do and all this writing and all these sketches. Now I'm like, oh, this is the point. This is the vibe. You're just working with your friends and you're doing it. You've created this momentum.
With your friends.
Yeah.
So I think the most important part of all of the DIY is DIY.
Done it yesterday.
Is finding your people, finding your community, and finding people that that your ideas resonate with, and that get those creative juices flowing.
100%.
And it's like any regular relationship where they say you have to work through things, because I know that over the last decade, and especially over the last 6 years, and with you have to work through things. People grow, people respond to things differently. You have to learn how to communicate with each other. And like that was a big part of this for me. Is there are a lot of times where we could have burned it to the ground and be like, this is too hard. Like, no, there's no Sid and Mike without me. I heard someone say that once. Anyway.
Wow, she's digging up holes in the backyard.
Yeah.
No, but it's good because now.
That was you that said that?
Oh,
maybe it was Walter.
It was
definitely
Walter. So that is also really special and part of making your own stuff. Shut up, whatever.
No, good stuff. A good conversation. I wanted to like close this little thought out a little bit with something that I heard on my 30-minute Peloton ride today.
Oh,
sorry. I'm gonna have
got
to
me by 10 minutes. Oh, I hit a new personal record today.
Of course you did. You've only done 3 times. So
it's not me. It's not me.
The thing that I wanted to say was that my instructor said something that really hit me, and I was like, oh, awesome. I'm going to say this on the show. But she said that being grateful for the future is a really like hard thing to do, but because we don't know what the future is, but I think we all have a vision of what the future could be. And I think I actually do feel that a lot. I feel very grateful for what our future is because I know it's going to be great. And, this podcast is sort of the next stepping stone in that direction. And so I'm excited.
Are you crying?
A little bit. I'm emotional.
Yeah, it's an emotional moment. I think we should all take a little break. Are you ever walking down the street realizing I'm using my feet when I could be using wheels?
Do you ever feel like maybe walking feels a little too safe and you want to risk your life for a fast-paced lifestyle?
My feet are a goddamn mess.
You need Segway. It's a vehicle. It's a lifestyle. It's a gadget. It's technology. There's a huge list here that I'm supposed to read of things that it is, and I'm going to kind of skip down to the bottom. It's your next purchase. It's a Segway. Folks.
Ride on into the next stage of your life.
Speaking of Segways, let's just transition into something else right away. Thanks to our sponsor, Segway, for that awesome copy that they sent us to read and for all the money.
Yeah, the inventor himself sent us the money. He is not dead.
It was pretty cool once we learned that.
I am excited about our next segment because we were talking about our old collective Video Mass days. And we have one of the founding members of Video Mass here with us on the podcast. You may know him as Jarrod from Sweater Club. This is Jarrod Zayas.
Oh my God, we're really taking it back that far?
Always.
Wow.
Hi,
we can go
Jarrod.
first.
Hi, hello. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for letting me bring my Segway.
Yeah, it's sort of
It's-
parked right in the middle of everything, but it turns out we needed to hang a light off of it.
Yeah. It ripped up a couple cables, but we have extras, so it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Extra LRs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
DIY filmmaking, we problem solve in a heartbeat.
Full disclosure, people, I went to college with Jarrod.
Oh, you guys go way back.
We go way back. Actually, that might actually not be accurate. He may have already graduated by the time I started school.
No, I hadn't yet.
You had
No,
what,
because
a
I was in the
semester or
6-year
two left?
college
An
program.
age-
Right. That's that prestigious.
I was a 3-year senior.
Prestigious.
So I was still in school.
That's law school.
Yeah. He's a
You're
lawyer.
a lawyer
Yeah,
in
yeah.
film?
So
He's an attorney. So don't fuck with us.
Attorney of chill.
Jarrod and I went to college in Alabama at a place called the University of Montevallo, and we studied theater. And Jarrod moved to New York while I was still in college, and I was very inspired by his move to New York, even though when I came to visit New York, I didn't go out to Queens to visit him.
wow.
I'm just calling myself out because
wow,
nobody else will. Nobody
bad
knows this
friend
history.
Carl
Yeah.
couldn't make it to Queens.
I mean, it is Queens.
I know,
It's
but
Queens.
damn.
We're
Yeah,
not-
you didn't come to my treehouse loft. There was a long time before you came over and climbed the ladder into my treehouse loft to come visit
That
and hang out. Couldn't stand
sounds
up. But,
True. Like Jarrod lived in a small space above someone else's room. And
Queens, man.
yeah. No, this was
This was
actually
actually Brooklyn. Yeah,
It's the aforementioned McKibben
Oh,
Lofts.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't last long in Queens.
Well, Jarrod, we're talking about DIY filmmaking. We're looking for perspective. We're looking for ways to motivate each other. And yeah, I mean, I think I have Mike here said he has a question for you to start out.
Well, first off, I'd love to give you your flowers. You are an early collaborator with Sid and Mike.
Yep.
You have written on some projects, and you have such a unique voice. And when you collaborate with people, you leave this indelible mark that is just fantastic. Where did you learn that you had this like unique voice and where does that come from?
That's a good question. I guess I've always been a weirdo, like in general. I've just never been afraid to have a really, really unpopular opinion. If that's just like genuinely my opinion, like there's assholes who like have opinions about things just because everybody else has the other opinion. But I don't know. I genuinely just feel like I kind of have a weird perspective on stuff, and I like always kind of had that perspective. And I feel like that makes its way into a lot of the stuff that we made for like Video Mass, or even the early projects that I worked on when I first moved to the city. So yeah, I think it's just never being afraid to be myself. That's so corny.
It's so
No.
true, though. I mean, it's very true. I mean, even like I'm not going to keep telling college stories, but when I first met you, your taste in music, your style, your way of kind of interacting with the world was something that I hadn't really seen before, and it was just such a it was refreshing. I mean, you say that this didn't happen, but I remember at one point I was scrobbling my tracks on iTunes, which if you don't know what scrobbling is, it means using an app to keep track of what you listen to. And somehow I think Jarrod had access to it, or maybe I'm making all of this up, but he wrote me a card that said, here, listen to something other than David Bowie, and handed me the first Arcade Fire CD, and I was like,
Yes.
all right. So my question is, what do you have against David Bowie?
Which is funny because I went through my David Bowie phase like maybe 10 years after that, and now I love him just as much as at least a little bit of as much as you.
That's life on Mars for you.
Okay, I have a question. It is really hard to, like, what are your first steps when you have an idea that you want to make? Like, what are your first steps to make it happen?
Tell everybody about it for 5 years and then actually do it.
And to follow that up, though, is like staying inspired, like what to keep writing and keep creating and keep that part of yourself active and alive.
Yeah, I think I really like trust my instincts. Like if I think about something and it kind of sticks with me for a little bit, like I'm just really inclined to like trust that there's something in it. The final like product that like comes out of it is never similar at all to what the original like seed of an idea was, but yeah, just like trusting that the idea that you like had is worth like acting on if it just like sits with you for just a little bit.
I have more flowers for Jarrod. You said like starting with an idea and then the final product usually isn't, or it never is the thing that you were picturing when you had the idea. But I would say, so Jarrod and I wrote a piece for Video Mass called Higher Channels, which was the framing device of the short films of stoner comedy that we did in 2015, I think. It might have been my first time working with Mike like as an actor as well. But Jarrod and I sat at my apartment and we just came up with all these really goofy, silly stoner comedy ideas for this framing device, including like a cable box that gets so drenched in bong water that the TV gets stoned, and all the channels are altered by this marijuana.
Right.
And
bong water.
There were some things in that we laughed and laughed and laughed about while we were writing it. And then I'm pretty sure I would go out on a limb to say we captured exactly what we went out to do as writers. We went on and we got the right resources together and we made that thing look almost exactly the way that I'm going to say pictured it in my head. I know you guys are going to call me up for it later. But I would say like making Higher Channels, writing it with you and making it is still one of my favorite things that I've done. And so, you know.
Yeah, and that's like a perfect example too. Like I remember like we would say something and I'd be like, that's dumb. Like no one knows what that is. But like you would know what it was. And like I just trusted if both of us thought it was really funny and had like this frame of reference for whatever the thing was that we thought was so funny, it had made it into the script, because there was going to be like 15% of people who would see like that thing and be like, oh my God, I remember that thing too. Like Songs for Worship was a thing we just like batted around a lot when we were working on that. Like infomercials and like TV commercials for like really bad like CD compilations from like 1999. But the fact that we still remembered it means there's something like indelibly just dropped into our memory of that thing. Like,
and I think stuff like that in particular, like you're talking about like the Adult Swim crowd.
Right.
When you see something that you're like, oh my God, I get that, but I didn't think anybody else knew about that. It is about taking that really specific like sniper approach to, I'm going to not use weapon metaphors.
Thank you, Carl.
Let's say like chip shot. No, that's not quite right. Yeah, all right, we're going back to sniper. The sniper approach to comedy, where it's like we have a really specific joke we're telling. We both think it's funny. If 10% of the people watching this think it's funny, those 10% are going to remember it. And
right.
like it's going to be important to them, the way that like certain shows on, like for me, like Adult Swim, where it's like, oh, this comedy seems like it's made just for me. This is cool. So I think we accomplished that.
Which we also, I think you do a really good job at reminding us that if we think it's funny, then that's what we're making, and it doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks, because our laughing is validation enough.
Yeah.
Hashtag laughter.
I remember on doing Higher Channels with you guys. You guys both have a really amazing way of communicating your ideas with the people, the actors, or anybody that you're collaborating with.
Right.
Do you think that comes from you're also an amazing actor from the theater?
What am I going to do with all these flowers, guys?
Well, you're great. So do you think that like has it informs the way that you communicate with other actors and stuff? Or
Absolutely. Like Carl and I, and maybe both of you, do you come from theater backgrounds?
I didn't know.
And Sid, no?
I do.
Sid did.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sid definitely does.
I think like
She's been on the boards a few times. The footlights.
I think that working, like learning theater and like acting and like being a part of the process, doing stuff on stage really was useful for me, like doing like film stuff too, because you're just like such a small cog in the machine, and like people don't work with you again if you're just like an absolute tool. Like it's just not a.
I met Mike in his first acting class.
I was
it was
an
actually
absolute tool.
It was actually my last acting class, and Mike has grown a lot on every level. You
Wow.
guys, on every level.
Sneak dissing.
I'm proud. I'm proud of you, dog. Okay.
Thank you. I have. I think that the higher channels thing was the first time where I felt I felt like it was something that I didn't do myself. I was working with other people directing me, and I really felt like I did something.
You did something. We had you playing so many emotions in that, because somehow you were kind of the main character in that, like everything.
Me and Katie Lee Hill, she's incredible. Also,
everything bad that happened to you. Like it was like they showed some vision of the future on the TV, and it's like Mike's been stabbed, and then he's watching it, and he's like, "Wait, am I gonna die?" I love that one.
Yeah,
But like
good.
that was such a good
We'll
shoot
put
day
the,
because like everybody in that room was like people that we liked. Like
Yeah.
not only was that intentional, but that was kind of, at least for the larger portion of the Video Mass Collective, like being a thing, like we liked everybody that was involved with it. In fact, one of the things that I remember liking least about working in that way was that sometimes I wouldn't see any of my friends for like 2 months. It's like everybody was working on something, and suddenly it was like everyone's doing their own thing. It was very secretive. Remember, it was like
Right.
we would try to drop like little like hints or like anti-fake hints about things to throw each other off. Because really, the first time you were seeing the movie was the first time it was like shown in like a room full of the people that like made it. So yeah, that whole collective was just, for the years that we really, really were deep in that, like.
And we'll put the link up in the bio for we'll re-release higher channels
Sure.
with this episode.
I'll have
Let's
to
do
ask some people about that. But yeah, like why not?
We did it before.
Yeah,
we'll do
we've
it
done
again.
They always say yes.
Also,
So-
working on a time, giving yourself a time frame is super important, and that's something that in Video Mass was so pivotal. You had X amount of time, you had deadlines of when things were done, and you had to be held accountable. Because you were part of this bigger thing, and that was important and special as far as like, oh, I don't want to let these other people down.
Right.
And people really were. I remember just like helping everyone. Everyone was helping everyone. Like, what are your skills? What are your skills? What can I do? Are you free that day? And that also was something, I mean, to be honest, because I was not around for the beginning of it, but I moved back to New York. And one of the things about New York is those types of filmmakers and a team like that. And it's so inspiring. Like, oh, there's people here that are working like this. This is amazing. And everyone is, these are great people. And it was awesome to come into.
Find your people. That is the biggest thing that you can do is
that's a big
create a
one.
community. I mean, if create a community or find a community to join. There are people that want to do the similar things that you're trying to do.
And it really did start so small.
It was 4
The first
films.
time we did it, I think there were 4 or 5.
Or maybe 5.
And it was just literally a group of friends that just divided up into like little tiny 2-group pairs. And that's like, and then.
We did 10, right? By the end of it, it was
That
10.
sounds-
Oh, I mean, some of them had like 15.
No,
films.
I meant like 10.
10 total. Yeah,
screenings.
the numbers kind of, there's some leeway to the numbers. We did some like mixtape screenings where we did things that weren't necessarily made in that, but yeah, we put on, I would say we put on 15 events total.
So impressive.
But most likely 10 that were just films that had been made just for that event. It was pretty impressive.
Jarrod, what's next for you? working on anything right now? Anything you're excited about?
I've been
anything
doing a
you're
lot more
interested-
theater lately,
Woo,
which has been
yes.
kind of fun.
I saw him play Soren in The Seagull by Anton Chekhov.
Oh,
Oh, really?
I can't believe
Excellent.
Okay, well, I'm trying to come to a show. What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when things were like locked down, I somehow ended up doing shows at Columbia University.
Okay.
Like their
I've heard of that place.
grad school directors and producers and things are like constantly putting on stuff, and I kind of got into that. It's really
That's
cool.
amazing.
You have an Ivy League scholar in the room.
For
folks.
real. Oh my God. I just got like
That's
nervous.
right.
Like, okay.
I told you guys he was good.
That's awesome.
I was gonna say, I feel like we can wrap a lot of the DIY up in find your people, start your project, like trust yourself, and then the third one is set deadlines. Those are 3 big ones. But on top of that, is there any like last piece of advice? And we're all jaded now too, so like take it with a grain of salt. But is there any last piece of advice you would give to aspiring DIY filmmakers?
I think Mike kind of touched on it earlier when he was like, if you want to be a filmmaker, just like do it. Like,
Also, we went to YouTube University. You can learn everything online. You can learn everything by asking people to watch what they're doing, to talk to them. Like, the information is so readily available that you just got to do it.
that's how we all learned.
Yeah.
Like, we just watched videos of other people doing it and like went to Home Depot and bought like a basic lighting kit for like $35, and then it melted, and then a small fire started, and like,
And run with it.
And then the light looks cooler. Oh, we got smoke. We got smoke in here. This looks great. Shoot it.
I have to tell you, though, that like when we were making stoner comedy, there was I'm never going to be allowed to hear again, but there was a period of time where Guitar Center, I would buy that cheap ass fucking smoke machine, but I was so broke I had to return it for like $30. And then pretty soon we had like, I don't know, they would break. We had like 5 of them.
Like
It was
4 or 5
but
smoke
there,
machines.
I definitely was returning them for a second until I was like, oh, we're going to keep making this stuff. Like, we should keep, oh man, I'm triggered. It's
Yeah.
fine. I'm good.
This is really just goes along with find your people in a way, but I think I'm only learning some of this now. But the word networking used to sound like this really like kind of icky, like business related LinkedIn profile thing. And when we had our proof of concept at festivals last year, networking was fun. Like we're meeting people, like seeing what they made, they're seeing what we made, they're giving us compliments, which I love. I love to be complimented. That might be my love language is just compliments, paid compliments. And that was great. I mean, like now, like we have these contacts that we made just from going to a festival. And so when you hear the word networking, think of it more of as like meeting that person who like can be that sort of like collaborator, be that other person who can help, you can both help lift each other up. So that's my piece of advice for aspiring filmmakers.
That's so nice.
oh, don't paint a wall green and think it's a green screen. That's another good piece of advice. It's impossible to light. Just don't do it.
Audio's important.
Oh, audio.
More important than anyone
Yeah, I was gonna say if
gives
there
it
was
credit
no
for.
if there was no YouTube University, this podcast would sound a lot worse.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
We're still learning.
Guys, I want to move on to our final segment of the show.
If Carl said it's time to move on, it's time to move on.
Yes, Sid trusts me a lot on the scheduling right now.
I'm not the scheduler.
We're going to do a game called Fake Pitches. And our producer, Sasha, is going to draw a couple of cards from the hit game Taboo. And
What are we doing?
the first word is... Oh, right.
But
The challenge this time is this is going to tell us the title of the thing, and then we're all going to pitch our version of what that thing is.
Oh, so we know
Okay.
the title.
We know the title.
Okay.
We each get 30 seconds to pitch our own thing.
Okay.
So the title is Mosquito Earlobe. Mosquito Earlobe. Better get your shots for this
Mosquito
one. folks.
Earlobe is a new documentary coming out about the inside universe inside a mosquito's earlobe and how it's actually a black hole into the next universe.
That's great. I think you
Yeah.
you killed it.
Anyway.
Did you already come with that like synopsis and just like plugged in the name of the the movie at the beginning? But that was really okay.
So Mosquito Earlobe is a Natasha Lyonne vehicle. I know it seems like she's had a lot of TV shows lately, and it's true. It's Mosquito Earlobe. Now, the first thing you need to know about the title is the title doesn't have anything to do with the show. In this show, Natasha Lyonne is a painter, but she doesn't know what she's going to paint until she puts the brush to the canvas. And then suddenly the picture is revealed in front of her. And that picture is the face of the murderer who she has to help the police arrest because she works for the cops in all her shows.
Mosquito Earlobe is a documentary, a docuseries about a man that has misophonia, and he's got a ringing in his ears all the time, and he keeps thinking that he's hearing this mosquito, and he's waking up in the middle of the night and he's trying to find this mosquito, and it starts to lead to narcolepsy, and the guy starts to go kind of crazy, and then he goes on this rampage through the jungle down Costa Rica. It just starts annihilating as many mosquitoes as he can. He goes on a bloodlust for the bloodlusters.
I'm
Mosquito Earlobe.
I'm rooting for this guy. Anybody killing mosquitoes, like, I am rooting for you, man.
Mosquito Earlobe. It's an Amazon, a very expensive Amazon river cruise with like a lot of like executives and like people who have like no business being on this cruise except they have a lot of money and they want to see like wildlife. But with the outbreak, oh God, it is. And wrote the White Lotus again.
Hey, man. Anthology
That
series.
keeps happening. I've rewritten White Lotus like 10 times.
Oh my God.
But anyway, there's an epidemic that breaks out due to mosquito eggs being planted in people's ears when they're sleeping at night.
Oh no!
And it turns them into zombies, but they're on the Amazon, so they can't like leave the boat. They just kind of have to like deal with this outbreak of a what is this
Zombie
like?
I don't
cruise?
it's Last of Us.
Is this a zombie cruise?
Wait, you're just pitching HBO
Okay, I haven't
successful
even seen
HBO
Last
properties.
of Us, so that's,
yeah, I don't know the
on
theme
you.
song.
You guys, that was great.
Wow.
I'm
That's
so
good.
happy
Wow,
to.
4 green lights in a row. That's crazy. We're making all these. We're gonna have to. I'll see you in court because Mosquito Earlobe. It's very important that the name makes no sense in mine. Oh man, that was great, Jarrod. It was so great to have you here. Jarrod, if you mind me saying this, I'll just cut it out. But Jarrod is the regular host of trivia at the Farewell Bar in Brooklyn. And trivia is at 8 p.m. every Tuesday.
8 p.m. Tuesday night.
Farewell Bar. He's great at it. I've won a couple of times with my team. I've lost a couple of times with my team. It's a great experience.
I
And
smell a
Jarrod's
conspiracy.
He's a killer host.
We'll put the link to that in the. Am I allowed to say
Jarrod,
that?
Yeah.
And where
You can say
where
anything.
can people find
Whoa!
you
Only we put links, okay?
if they want to find you like online?
Yeah, I guess you can like follow my Instagram, which is pretty much just turned into like travel porn and like gross depictions of my budding romance with my partner. I'm at Punch
Love.
Drunkard on Instagram.
Punch
Drunkard,
At-
DURNKARD.
At Punch Drunkard. Well, that's awesome. If you want to find us
What's the
online,
new play that you're? I'm sorry.
Oh,
What's
yeah,
the new
you're right.
play that you're doing, and is it gonna?
I'm not
are you-
doing anything right now.
Oh.
Thanks, Mike.
Oh no.
rubbing it in. If you would like to find us online, you can find us at www.sidandmike.com or at Sid and Mike on Instagram or YouTube, or you can shoot us an email at sidandmikenyc@gmail.com. I got stuck there.
And if you are the person that has the email account, sidandmike@gmail.com, we fucking want it.
Yeah, we're coming for you. We're coming for you. Tell your lawyers.
Maybe.
That's Sid.
Mm.
Take us out.
Do 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 do.
Wait, that's the beginning.
Oh, cha-ching.
Hey!
Well done. And we are out. Goodbye.
I thought we should just loop. Let's just go. Let's just go for. All right,
A
that was take one.
loop-de-loop.
That was a good take one.
And take 2. Action. Comedy Filmmakers Motivation Monday, the podcast, is a production of Dark Matter Entertainment and Phantom Strain Pictures. Our producer is Sasha Nonas Barnes. Our theme song is by Joseph Colmenero. Find us online on YouTube or Instagram at Sid and Mike, or email us at sidandmikenyc@gmail.com.